Okay, you know when I said this? These are some of the best examples of macho badass action, while also providing a very challenging game on top of that. Well, that is with the exception of Contra Force. But to be fair, it wasn't supposed to be a Contra game in the first place. In Japan, it was originally supposed to be a new IP called Arcane with a different style of gameplay. It was eventually cancelled, but the North American localization got a hold of it and gave it the Contra name to sell copies. This kind of explains it, because Contra Force is very half-baked. Though the game has a similar vibe to Contra with shooting the enemies in sight, it has its distinct differences. In this game, you have a squad system where you can choose one of your squad members to fight alongside you with offensive and defensive options. Each squad member has their perks, with one that can use explosives and some that have better jumping abilities. This is probably the best part of the game, and can be very useful to get rid of some enemies at a hard angle. But the AI can be very inconsistent when you try to get him to help you, only to have him randomly fall down pits like a suicidal maniac. Yeah, thanks guy, you've been a real help. Shooting in the game works for the most part, but can be very inconsistent at times. And that's because the hit detection can be way off. For this part, I'm trying to shoot this guy off the platform, but for some bizarre reason, the bullets won't hit, even though I was able to hit the other guys on similar platforms. Some power-ups you get are good, others pretty useless. With the character beans, you can have a power-up where you can set demo charges that explodes around, which may sound useful, but you realize that when trying to take down an enemy, that it is a total waste, and you can't even try to take down the enemy with them. However, the most criminal part of the game is that you go way too far to the right when going through a stage. In most side-scrollers, you stay generally in the middle, and you can properly adjust to the situation. Whenever a bullet comes right after you, you can jump at the right time, and it becomes a matter of speed and reflexes. But here, whenever you go to the far right, you would have to reorient yourself by going backwards and then going forward again. This problem is a very serious one, because it can get you killed by something you didn't even see coming. I mean, how fair is that? Now, after playing Contra Force, you probably think I hate it, but I actually didn't. I think it had some interesting ideas. The squad system was pretty cool, and when the game didn't slow down or you would go too far to the right, it can be fun at times. But overall, it's a mediocre game that's not up to par with the other Contra games. I give this game a 5 out of 10. Stay tuned for the next video, where I will talk about Contra Hardcores.